Understandably, since it came out, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has received its fair share of criticism. This has mainly been levelled at its performance, while its gameplay has been lauded by many as the best in the series so far. After the initial Day 1 patch, which did very little for performance, Nintendo came out and directly tweeted that they're addressing performance issues as well as many other things, and that patch 1.1.0 was coming out on December the 1st. I have been playing through the patch, looking at the performance, checking out the frame rates, seeing if any work has been done as yet on the performance issues, and we'll also towards the end take a look at the handheld performance. I'm getting flashbacks here of the GTA remastered trilogy, but has Pokemon Scarlet and Violet been all patched up? Well, let's find out. Well, what do Nintendo themselves say about this patch? Their patch notes say, Season 1 of ranked battles will kick off, allowing you to enjoy ranked battles through the battle stadium. So that's nice. You have to check the in-game notice for more details about those ranked battles. They've also explicitly fixed an issue that caused the music to not play correctly during the battle with the Elite Four and the top champion in the Victory Road path. Clearly a priority thing. And then they go on to say that there are other select bug fixes that have been made. There is actually no mention of performance here. However, after their patch notes on the tweet, they do mention that they realise that performance is an issue for some players and that they're on it, so don't panic. Call me skeptical, but its distinct lack from any patch notes does not fill me with excitement, but I am old and grumpy, so let's hope that I'm completely wrong. Let's jump straight into performance and we'll revisit some of the worst offending areas from my initial performance review. In true flashback style, let's jump right back to the very beginning, where I left the house and the view clipped through the plants and completely obscured my vision. Well, that's exactly the same. Clipping is the same as it was before the patch, and I was able to clip through some scenery as well as clipping through the plants on my house, so I don't see much work in that regard. What I haven't ever seen though is some of the clipping we saw online where people fell through the ground. I do think there was a bit of jiggery pokery going on with modded versions of the game, but who knows, I'm sure someone had that. The frame rates in these opening areas were quite tragic. They would drop down to sub 20 FPS and there was lots of stuttering. Post patch 1.1.0, the frame rates are quite tragic. They drop down to sub 20. The stuttering remains, and as I'll talk about towards the end of this video, I think this has been where the biggest disparity between fans has occurred. But as you can see here, this opening area still stutters right down. As you approach the first real built up area, it can actually drop down to 15 frames per second, and rotating the camera just confirms the fluctuations. If we quickly jump over to handheld just for a second, the difference is stark in terms of frame pacing. If you're a handheld exclusive player, there's a chance you may not notice half of the performance issues that anyone else does. That significantly smoother frame delivery is quite unusual, honestly, and that surely feels like a bug in their software that could have been ironed out in this patch. Well, has it? No, it hasn't been ironed out in this patch. There's no beating around the bush. Performance in general, to me, seems largely the same. As we're running through the town, one of the biggest issues for people were artifacts and items glitching in and out of existence. That seemed to do with the LOD, with some real load-on-demand issues, meaning that Pokemon doesn't really have any smart way of telling the system what should be loading and when, and as such, random things will load in as you move around. Then the level of detail draw distance is also tailored so that at a certain range, we now know that the frame rate will drop down, and I think Digital Foundry did a very excellent analysis of this, where they actually documented the drop percentage, so it was like half and a quarter and then a third. It just got worse and worse in terms of the frame rate of the item the further from the camera it was. That's exactly the same as it was before. Again, if I had to be cynical, I would say that all of their patchwork effort so far has gone into making sure that the Season 1 rank battles will kick off on time. And I don't know, maybe that's what fans would rather happen, but personally, I would have liked them to shelf absolutely everything and get this thing running right. To think that they didn't know the performance was unacceptable at launch is pretty naive, and then to see the reaction and to continue to work on other things, but to caveat it with, oh, we've seen that you've noticed performance isn't great, we're very sorry about that, just doesn't potentially seem like the smartest idea. To my eye, image quality looks unchanged. Similar to Arceus, it has one of the most beautiful night skies I've ever seen in a game, and the monster designs, which I believe are outsourced to another company, actually look really nice. The geometry and world itself, though, don't hold up, and I don't see many improvements in this area. Pop-in is just as prevalent as it was before. What Nintendo did say is that they would fix the balancing issues that were affecting ranked play before the Season 1 started, so it's likely that that is what's happened here. Credit goes to Pinocchio for that one. It seems that they've also fixed the dupe glitch. So yeah, it's likely that that's exactly what they've done. They've targeted any bugs that affect that online ranked gameplay, which will please some people and not others. At least they're doing something, and let's hope that the first real performance patch that arrives soon is going to actually affect the performance. What I alluded to at the start of this video then, and maybe why we see such a disparity between comments on the channel, some people say to me, the issues that you've mentioned on Pokemon don't exist because I haven't seen them, and that kind of blows my mind. I don't really know how you can look at this footage and say that there are no existing issues in Pokemon, but perhaps they're people that play predominantly in handheld mode. As I have to capture footage, I'm playing on a large TV that's quite close to my face so that my old man eyes can see all the different issues that are going on. The jaggy edges around the outsides of characters, the slow frame rates, all of that stuff. But playing in handheld's quite a different experience, and it would absolutely be the way that I would suggest anyone to play this game. But have Nintendo worked diligently to even slightly improve the frame rates or the performance of their game? No, they haven't. Not in my opinion, at least. I see no change whatsoever. Let me know in the comments what you think after having played the patch. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are some areas significantly improved. I'm not seeing it. I hope this is helpful to some of you. If you do enjoy the content, then consider sticking around. And remember, we're giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED in around about 20 days. So we've got our 12 Days of SwitchUp series, which starts, that's the 12 days leading up to Christmas, with a different video each and every day. It's a series that we always run every year, and it's really quite an enjoyable time for the community, with loads of things given away. You can still save 10% on any of your eShop vouchers using code SwitchUp over at switchup.gg, so you can buy yourself some nice Christmas presents at a little bit of a discount, and we get a tiny little kickback as well from Nintendo. Other than that, do pop any questions you've got about the game down in the comments. If I'm able to answer them, then I most certainly will. And a big thanks to our Patreons and our members, and to all of you that just leave comments and have a good old chinwag down below. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!